The second sign of the lunar cycle, otherwise known as the earth branches or earth branch, this is the ox. Second out of 12. These are the animal signs in Chinese astrology. We're going through each one. The ox. Mine is the stabilizing force that perpetuates the cycle of life. I stand immobile against the test of adversity, resolute and unimpeachable. I seek to serve integrity, to bear the burdens of the righteousness. I abide by the laws of nature, patiently pushing the wheel of fate. Thus I shall weave my destiny. I am the ox. That is fantastic. This is out of the Handbook of Chinese Astrology. Theodora Lau, I'd like to give her some credit on that. And it's really fabulous when you can have an I am like that. It's pretty incredible. I just lost my place for later, but we'll find it again. So the ox, Cao, yin in nature. This is how we say ox, which is written here in Chinese. Tends to be deliberate and slow. Plans carefully. My husband is the double metal ox. Stubborn in nature. You can't change his mind. He's fixed and he holds on to it. Doesn't budge. Stubborn as an ox. We've all heard this saying, right? Not many emotions shown. They can be intense. They're very stable, very faithful. They see things one way and it's hard to change their mind. Hardworking and organized. The ox is incredible. Now, when we pair our earth branches, the animal signs, with the elements, they give a little bit of a different characteristic. The reason I'm bringing this into the ox is the ox can be a workaholic. But if you're a water ox, I know you're working too hard. If you're the summer ox and fire when it's hot and you're not moving so quickly, you will definitely be working hard, but not as hard as that winter ox. So the elements come into play, water being winter, fire being summer. And they do create another aspect to this. I wanted to mention that because my husband is the double metal ox, and metal can be rigid and firm and set in its ways and organized, a creature of habit, structure. Combining that with ox, which already has some of these deliberate ways of being, you can see where the ox can be very stubborn. Let's see, what else can I say about ox? Ox, the key word is equilibrium for ox. That's a great one. Sincere and patient, courageous, conventional, stubborn. We talked about that, but it's everywhere for ox. Uncomplaining, often fond of solitude. Yes, I was just telling Bethany, my husband never goes out with his friends or travels, or he's very much a lone wolf. The ox can be alone and be just fine with that. They love it, in fact. Traditional, passive, warm, solid, reliable. They can be fussy and distrustful until they've learned for themselves how you roll, which can make the ox unlucky in love sometimes. I have to say, my husband's tough to live with, but faithful and hardworking and stable. All those other qualities are amazing. Not over generous, purposeful, logical intellect. So the people in the year of the ox that aren't in favor, don't really get along with the ox, are going to be the rooster, the snake, and the rat. The ones that are getting along with the ox are going to be the monkey, the tiger, the horse, the sheep. Let me see, did I read that right? I got to look up my own here. Hold on, friends. The horse, yeah. No. Okay, I did that the opposite. So, the rooster, the snake, and the rat are going to get along just fine with ox. The horse, the rabbit, and the sheep. Sorry. The monkey, the tiger, the horse, and the sheep are going to have some challenges with the ox. Some other characteristics that stand out for the ox: eloquent, artistic, arrogant. That's that stubbornness, can feel like arrogance. Reasoned, Reasoned. Flexible, demanding. Okay, I'll take it. Tenacious, fair, progressive. Outspoken, forceful, difficult. Solid, loyal, and sincere. I want us to always be mindful that there are two sides of the same coin at every time. If you've been following along with me, you know that yin and yang are two sides of the same coin, and the same goes for the earth branches when I'm explaining in a reading to you on your 4 pillars chart. If you were born the day of the ox, the year of the ox, there's 4 pillars. If ox is present, these are some of your characteristics in your astrology reading. Now, my husband being the double ox, he's going to have more of this vibrancy in these characteristics for ox. Let me see if I can read a little bit more to you. Hang on, folks. So, yeah, it goes more into the friends and the enemies, if you will, or the difficulties, if you will. I think we're going to leave it at there with ox, the second in line for when Lord Buddha had all the animals come for his ascension off of the earth plane. And rat was first, ox showed up second, and we are going in line. So when you see these numbers in my library, you'll know that we're doing 2 of the 12 animal signs in Chinese astrology. Thanks for being with me on the ox.